Hello and welcome to the Crafting Cafe podcast. Did it feel like I was going to sing? I went big. This is Ellie.
Episode 8.
You got it right.
Season 2.
You got it right for a change. It's episode 8.
That
Hello
was it.
to our new followers. Ellie,
Yeah.
something's happened.
1,000.
We're past 1,000, Ellie. We're actually on 1,010 right now. You know,
Are
to
we?
some of you out there, at the time of filming, yeah. To some of you out there, that might not be an achievement, but we're celebrating small wins.
We can go live.
Small wins. We can now go live. I think we can make money. We can monetize.
Can we?
Yeah, maybe. Let's try. There's cash involved. Me and Ellie will do anything.
Yeah. Whoa.
Whoa, too fast, guys.
I'm going to say something.
Go on, you say
You
it.
know how I said I didn't like Pritt Stick and Uncle Frogface? Didn't like me saying...
He didn't
like us.
He also didn't like me saying Pritt Stick. And then I watched it back and I said it a lot.
I'm just going to say, if we do want to make some moolah...
Spawn.
I'll forgive Pritt Stick.
You're taking a spot now?
I'll take it back.
Okay.
Maybe.
Let's talk then. So if you are new to us and you're like, what are these two waffling about? This is the Crafting Cafe podcast. It's a podcast all about crafting. We get guests on. We've got an incredible guest today coming up later on, Denise. Denise has an amazing story
Oil
to
painter.
tell. She is an artist, but she's got an incredible story that you will love, and I know you'll love. It's a little bit emotive. It will be a little bit more outside the box than our normal jokes.
Which is...
I can't promise jokes, but it's good. And poignant leading up to Mental Health Awareness Week coming up and all sorts of things going on, Ellie. Mm-hmm. And no one knows what's going on behind the camera or behind their brains or their heads or the person. Don't know what people are going through. What? I'm basically saying, basically saying we don't know what.
We can't say what Hayley's doing behind the camera.
No, because it's
illegal.
Other people need to unpick that. There's a lot going on there.
Hayley.
There's a lot going on, isn't there, Ellie? And no one knows.
A lot.
And life's hard.
But this is why we do the podcast.
Life
so
can
people
be hard,
can
right? It's a bit of fun.
take their mind off
Bit
things.
of jokes.
So what have you been up to, Scott?
What have I been doing? Bit of work, a lot of work. Busy at work.
Yeah.
Work.
Anything else?
As Rihanna said. Anything else? My sister got married in the UK. That was an English wedding. She's getting married abroad. That was lovely. That was nice. The weekend.
When is the abroad wedding?
Sometime in June. Can't remember the date.
A June wedding?
Yeah. I'll go to Vegas for a stag do in May. How's the Vegas preparation going?
Yeah.
Not very well.
No?
I don't know what I'm preparing for.
Has the PT not made you pass out again?
Not been back to him since the pass out situation.
Oh. Retired.
Moving on. So what have you been up to, Ellie? What have you been doing?
Working. I went kayaking on Saturday.
Did you?
Yeah, in Kimber.
That sounds fun. Did you fall in?
No.
No falling in?
No, but it was funny. It was
Weather's
good.
nice.
Yeah, it was really nice. And we saw some sheep. We saw little ducklings.
Did it bring any crafting vibes?
No.
No.
Sadly not.
Didn't think about getting some oil paints out and doing some painting?
No, if hindsight was a thing, do you know what I mean?
Hindsight's
that would have been good.
2020, whatever that means.
But that was fun.
Good.
And then working, weather's nice.
Okay.
Chilling in the garden. Walking.
Just very wholesome weekend, it sounds like.
Has to be
At one
sometimes.
with the nature.
Yeah. It
Like
helps,
it.
doesn't it?
Love it.
So,
Okay. Today. It's a lot going on, Ellie.
A lot is going on.
We're getting increasingly popular. Demands.
1,010.
Uncle Frogface is really desperate to come on. We've had a message. I think we need to line that up now for season 3.
Are we doing a season 3?
I don't know. I'm quite busy now. I'm going to try.
TBC.
No, we'll come back, I think. If you want us to come back. If you don't, we'll...
Call it quits.
Yeah.
I tuned in. I didn't tune in. I saw Uncle Frog's face live.
Uncle Frog's face. Did he do it live? You watched
Last night.
Ah.
He was playing Minecraft.
There you go. Maybe we need to go live and
All
play
eyes.
Minecraft. We can go live.
Not mine.
Okay. As always with the podcast, last week, Ellie, or last poddy, we set you... You all right? We set you a task. Can you remember what it was?
My word.
What was Ellie's phrase or terminology or word? Archival
Quality.
quality.
Now,
That was set by Barry, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was probably the most
Random
in-depth
thing to...
word
Oh,
that
was
has
it?
been set so far on the pod.
Okay.
I would say so.
Ellie's obviously asked her best friend.
Yeah. As you can see.
Yeah. The old
GPT.
chat.
It says here, that it is materials that are designed to last a very long time without deteriorating, fading, or damaging the items that come into contact with. So it's like making sure that your product, whatever you are making, isn't going to wear, basically.
So it's got an incredible amount of quality.
Yeah.
Is that with the archival?
Yeah.
Quality is obviously quality. Archival is what that means.
Keeping it
pristine and perfect and amazing.
For many a year.
Okay.
So that's my fact.
That's our knowledge.
Fact.
That was our knowledge. Have
That
we got a
was
new
hard.
one for this week? Oh, produce. Ellie, why do we bother with this when the producer can't even... Like, we're the talent. We've got to over 1,000 followers now. And the team aren't coming along with us.
Well, Liam's left us.
I've got a hater as well.
Who?
Sorry. No, I'm joking. Sue, and I'm Ellie. Sue commented and she was like, oh, you do everything, do you? You're that sort of MD.
You're that MD.
And I was like, Sue, it was a
Yes, he is.
joke. I didn't really mean that. Also, Hayley does book the guests.
Hayley does run the podcast. She's got us up to the
But she
1,000
wasn't here.
followers, to be fair.
She wasn't here on the Friday, and me and Ellie took our 2 minutes of opportunity to record the video.
We had a good laugh, though, while doing it.
Kat filmed us.
Yeah, Kat loved it. Kat was
She
giggling.
cut off the end of your...
Kat's filming, though.
And I'm Ellie.
Yeah, Kat's filming. I don't think she wanted me in that video, really.
Did you enjoy that, Hayley? Yeah. Our video? Yeah? Did you? Yes? Mm-hmm. You were driving to Essex. You didn't really care, did you?
No.
Well, I was a bit...
She had better things to do.
You wasn't happy with the quality?
I wasn't happy with you claiming you do everything.
Oh. Yeah, we could tell you commented on it.
Crafting trends?
I'm a bit late on the trends at the moment. You know, all that I'm seeing, my TikTok is awash with the beaded trees.
Still?
They're just everywhere.
Still?
Can't get away from them.
Oh.
Ew.
I've got one. And it's scrapbooking now.
Well, Barry set you on a scrapbooking journey.
Sort of.
Okay.
It was trying to find out what that archival...
Oh, and that
thing
sent you
meant.
on a...
It's like, it's not like scrapbooking of things, what you do in your life. Are you okay?
I had a twitchy eye. Yeah, go on, sorry.
Are
you okay? Go on, sorry. Twitchy eye.
Having a
Sorry,
funny
sorry guys.
turn on the pod, are you?
My eye was twitching. I've sent you off track there, haven't I?
I was a
It
bit
was
worried then.
scrapbooking, but scrapbooking without...
Scrapbooking, but I don't know, themes and stuff. So if you wanted to do a Disney theme or different themes, I don't know, you just get little pieces of paper and you put them
stick
together.
it in all in the journal.
Yeah.
That is scrapbooking.
That is scrapbooking. So
Whatever you want.
That's what keeps popping up.
There's no rules in scrapbooking, whatever you like. Just pop it all in a little page, journal, write it down, do some art, a bit of paint, anything you're feeling.
We used to scrapbook
Expression.
when I was younger, actually.
A lot of people
forgot.
did. A lot of people did. Don't you? Yeah.
What?
Never forget. You get that was slow, wasn't it? Did you get that in the end?
Yeah.
Oh. Take
Yeah.
that. Do you know Take That songs? Any references right there?
Not really. I'm not into that. Take that.
Never. Get where you're
I'm
coming
sorry.
from.
Yeah, no, I hate that.
Do you?
I'm sorry,
At
but I hate that
the end
song.
of university, that was the last song they always used to play. They used to be like, and guys, the night's wrapping up. Get ready for this.
And
Have we come so far?
I bet you all loved it
Yeah,
as well.
Yeah, everyone did. Got in a circle. Never.
Yeah.
And it was like, well, we are going to because we're all about to go home now. So, via the chippy.
Sometimes I'm glad I'm born many years after.
What was your, end of song party?
I don't think I would have.
You wouldn't have one?
What? End of song?
End of
End of
night.
night?
End of night song.
Probably, I don't know. It's probably... Rihanna was quite
Oh.
pop when
Was
I
she?
was... Yeah, loved a bit of Rihanna.
That's not going to end a night, though, is it?
Yeah, because the night wouldn't end.
There you go. Okay.
That's how to do it.
Got a word for you.
You got a word for me?
So,
Producer's been producing on the roll.
yeah.
She does do
In
everything.
a jewellery maker sense,
In a jewellery making sense.
chasing,
Chasing, okay. Like a chasing... I know what a chasing hammer is.
maybe
Maybe that's involved. Okay. Chasing, okay. For EP 9, we weren't going to do an EP 9, but we are. Revealed. Spoiler alert.
What's
Chasing.
What do you think it is, in a way?
A
Chasing like the...
A chasing
the
hammer is
chain?
like a ball hammer that you do metal
Flatten a
work
chain
with.
with or
Yeah,
something?
you a chasing hammer
Or-
you flatten metal with, and it's got like a ball end and a ball top. It's a chasing hammer, but I don't know what chasing is reference to. But I will research it.
Mm-hmm. Don't forget it.
We've got quite a few people who have asked to be on the pod, so I think we could get a 9.
Have
We
we?
could do a 9, yeah.
Who? You're allowed to know.
So obviously Nigel really wants to come on, so we could get Nigel on.
Yeah.
Rosie obviously really wants to come on,
Yeah.
so we could get Rosie on. Who else asked me the other day? Someone asked me the other day. I'm not sure. Can't remember who it is now. Well, we got lots of people.
Well, that's good to know.
Lots of options.
We had some
Dawn Wheeler. she'll come
messages
on.
as well. Is that what you've sent me? In the pod?
That's for Julie.
Okay, so that's
We've had some
coming
more
up.
crimes against crafting coming into our judge.
What are we going to do? What am I going to do about Julie
What do you mean?
with her crime?
Well, we need to talk about the backlash from Anthony, don't we? What's happened with Anthony and Julie?
Do you want to hear something what she did last
Yeah,
night and
let's do
sent it to me?
Ooh, should we do that with her here?
She
Do you want to
doesn't need
out
to be
her
here.
without the judge? Okay, we're talking about the judge without
So
the judge.
this is just
If you're new to the
Very
podcast, we have
mindful.
her lady,
Whoa.
Her Majesty,
Julie.
Judge Julie, was our agony aunt, now our judge.
She's had many faces.
She's an important part of the pod now, and she condemns crafting crimes. We've had a lot more coming through on our social media,
Yeah.
particularly on a Tickety Talk, because now we got over 1,000. Just plug. We will be going live soon. So I think we should get her on in a minute and talk through them. But you want to out her about something? We did
So
find
if
that
you
she had her own
watched-
crime.
If you listened last time, she committed a crime.
She committed a crime. Her crime was using crafting scissors to cut her dog's beard. She claimed they weren't crafting scissors. We said we were going to adjourn the case.
But what did she say to me and Hayley?
They're not my favourite crafting.
Quoted.
They're not
Quoted.
my favourite crafting scissors. That still means they're crafting. So we need to condemn her today then. We need to
This
send
is
her
what I was
down.
trying to say.
What have we decided? Okay, without her,
Don't
what have we
know.
decided? I think
People make mistakes.
what's hard enough for Julie would be 24 hours with no scissors. Like for 24 hours, she just can't use scissors. And we'll book it in on a content day as well.
Oh my
Where she's
God.
got to film content.
What's she going to do?
Oh, that'd be great.
Somebody else to go.
Right, is that what we're saying? 24 or a week?
No.
2 days? 48?
God,
48
do you think
hours?
24 is a bit harsh?
No, I think 24 is good.
Am I too nice or something?
You're
I feel
being
like
too nice.
Maybe an hour. I don't know.
No, 20. Well, she won't use. She'll just type instead for an hour. 24 hours.
I don't know. Okay.
24-hour ban.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So this is
Is this
what?
a voice note? Play up to the mic.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Do you want to feel the end of my gavel?
Do you want to feel the end of? Wow.
That's
wow.
That's what-
Well,
that's-
I think.
That's what happens in Julie's household at 10:30 at night.
Wow.
Just saying.
I think she's accidentally pressed play on a voice note there, and they were up to something else.
imagine,
That sounds a bit like.
I was at home and I was thinking, when I first played it, there was no message with it. And I was like, what the hell am I listening to?
I think.
Okay.
Right, I think people out there, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, wherever you're watching or viewing this, you should let us know. Do you want to fill the end of my gavel? Sounds like something that doesn't feel right. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Crafting Cafe podcast. We have a guest today, Ellie.
Denise?
Hello.
Hello.
Denise.
Hello.
Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
I'm sorry that it's a bit random. You're in a room, in a corner with lots of bright lights.
It's fine.
I promise
warm.
that we are friendly and this will be lovely. Okay?
Yes,
Ellie's made you a coffee.
Thank you.
It was a little bit strong, wasn't
It was lovely, but it was a bit strong. Yeah.
it? So if you watch this back and you feel like anything's changed, just blame the coffee.
I will.
It's just a bit, made you a bit buzzy.
Yeah.
It was the coffee.
bit buzzy.
Sorry.
Denise, thank you so much for coming in.
My pleasure.
If you don't know the Crafting Cafe podcast, what we try and do is talk about all things crafting, talk about how it makes us feel. We both love the industry, the world of crafting, and we love the fact that I think a lot of people realise that they are crafters and they do little crafty things, but you take it for granted. And you are one of those, right? You have an incredible story to tell.
I'm an artist, yes.
Where should we begin? Where would you like us to begin?
Well, I used to have a life in London taking hen parties on boat trips.
This sounds
Ooh.
fun. This
And I
sounds
did
fun.
that for 15 years.
I bet you've got some stories from that.
Loads. The amount of plastic willies I've seen.
Oh.
And then I had a phone call on the 7th of June 2022 saying that my mum had got 2 hours to live. I was on a train on my way into London. She'd got meningitis, they said. So I rang my partner at the time and I said, bring the dog, get some clothes, I need to go to Birmingham. So I went straight to Birmingham. But that was a 3-hour journey.
Yeah.
So 2 hours, 3-hour journey. So a bit traumatic.
Of course.
To find out that my mum was in hospital because she'd got a problem with her neck. She had arthritis. She should have been given pain relief and sent home. But she was 82. She caught COVID, sepsis. She got sepsis.
Okay.
And then she had 2 bouts of pneumonia. So after 2 months in hospital, so I just basically abandoned everything in London.
Yeah.
Because I had to care for
Of
her.
course.
And then after 2 months, I was told, we need the bed back. So this is me being really careful what I'm saying about the NHS, but it's just my experience.
Yeah.
So then she came home, and me and my brother and the nurses came in, cared for her at home, and she was at home for 3 weeks, and then she died. So I was there every day. But the actual death was beautiful because there was me and my brother and her sister there.
Share the moment, yeah.
It was beautiful,
Yeah.
but leading up to that was really traumatic
imagine,
and
yeah.
really, really affected my mental health.
Yeah.
But I now see it as an absolute gift, what happened. It was wonderful. And then a few months after that, at the same time, my auntie, who I was also very close to, had Alzheimer's and dementia together. So that was brutal.
Course,
that was very fast. So I wanted to make sure that my auntie had a really good death. That was really, really important to me. So what I did was I got in touch with a death doula.
Okay, yeah.
And the death doula said, no, you don't need us. What you need is a soul midwife. So I don't know whether you know.
No,
whether
I
I've
don't
mentioned
know.
this.
No.
Not mentioned. It's all coming out soon.
Yeah, don't know.
So soul midwives are very underground, but they're all over the country, the different parts of the world as well. And what they do is they help people have a really good death.
Okay.
So, for example, the soul midwife I got in touch with suggested, think about what my auntie's going to see. She was in a care home because she couldn't live at home anymore, and it was beige. It was a really horrible room. So I basically spent a small fortune at Amazon, and she loved gardening. Covered it in plastic flowers. All the walls, all the ceiling, everything she could see in her vision was covered in plastic flowers. I got lilies next to her bed because they're very strong smelling. So I got lilies there.
Yeah.
So there was a very strong smell and all the colours of the flowers. And I could see from in micro expressions, because she couldn't really speak, that she really liked that.
Yeah.
So that was really, really
Amazing.
important. So I was there with her for 3 days, 2 nights. She had a fantastic death, just with me, brilliant death. And that's that might sound shocking to say that, but we are all celebrated when we're born, but we're not celebrated when we die, and we should be. It's really important. So now I've done the training and I'm a fully qualified soul midwife. So I now volunteer in hospices,
That's amazing.
helping people at
Incredible.
end of life. So to go back to the other bit of the story, so that's why it's a gift, because it's transformed my life.
Yeah.
But what I did, the first anniversary of my mum's death, because my mental health was really in a bad way, because I had a lot of guilt, I blamed myself, it wasn't my fault. I did as much as I could to sort of not battle with the NHS, but to try and, they're very busy and there's not enough of them, just to try and get the best care I could.
Yeah.
It was really difficult, and I was exhausted. I wasn't sleeping. I was with my mum 24 hours on sleeping on the floor.
Yeah.
Everyone who's a carer knows what that's like.
100%,
It's relentless.
Yeah.
So a year after that, I thought, okay, it's the anniversary's coming up. It's going to be brutal. I am an artist. I trained as an artist for many years. I had loads of exhibitions and things when I was younger. But then, like everyone who's creative, you always have to do something else to earn an income, because it's impossible to do anything creative and pay your bills.
Of course.
So I've always done other things. I've always had loads of careers and different things. So one of the things that I did was I thought on the anniversary I will go up to a place called Barbeacon, which is near Walsall. It's
Yes,
on the
I know
Walsall.
I know it well. Yeah, I know it well.
My mum's flat, because I inherited my mum's flat with
Yeah.
my brother, is on the border. It's 2 minutes from Barbeacon.
Okay.
So I went up to Barbeacon and I thought, I'm going to paint the sunrise, because you get a really good view of east and a really good view of
it's
west.
incredible, yeah.
Brilliant, brilliant
Yeah.
sunrise, brilliant sunset. So I went up to Barbeacon with all my painting stuff. I was using watercolour at the time, and I thought, I'll sit here on the morning of the anniversary. So it was 21st of August.
Amazing.
That meant getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah.
because it's the earliest
Of
time
course.
of the year for the sunrise.
Yeah.
So I basically got up, got clothes on, old clothes on, drove up there 2 minutes, sat in a field, no one around, and put stuff out on the floor and started painting the sunrise. And I thought, quite like this, quite enjoy doing this. So then I carried on every day for just about a year, just
Wow.
about a year, every morning. If it was raining, I had a little tent. I would sit in a little tent, like a little fisherman's
Yeah,
tent,
of course,
open
of
at the
course.
front. I'd sit in a little tent so I could keep my paper dry, basically. I
Yeah.
had waterproofs on, and then a boiler suit over the top, so I wasn't going to get wet, and I'd have my wellies on, but I needed to keep my paper dry. But then I had to go from using watercolour to oil, because in the winter when it was snowing,
Yeah.
because I was out minus
Of course,
10
Yeah, yeah.
some mornings, my watercolour would freeze.
Of course, so you had to
Paper.
change.
So I had then had to
yeah.
use oil.
Yeah.
I studied sculpture at art school, so I'd never used oil paint before, so I had to do a bit of research how to do it. So no, that was brilliant. I loved it.
It's an
I loved
incredible
it.
story, Denise.
It gave me a routine when
Yeah.
I couldn't work. I
And
couldn't work.
And I imagine you're very popular with passers-by at that point as well. I imagine there's a lot of people.
There was a few
Hello,
dog.
what's going on?
Yeah, there was a few dog walkers, mainly in the winter, because in the winter I was
Yeah.
out sort of 7, 8 in the morning.
Yeah.
Mainly in the summer there was no one around at that
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Maybe a few people that had been to raves the night before. But that was
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
They were sort of
yeah.
coming down at the beacon. But
Yeah,
that
they
was it.
probably didn't realise what was happening.
They
Yeah,
didn't
it was a
have
completely
clue.
different
They
story.
didn't have a clue.
Um,
So, but a few times I had problems with the police.
yeah.
If I was in the tent, because
Of
it was
course,
raining,
Yeah.
and I
yeah.
had dreadlocks at the time.
Oh, gosh.
So that last
Yeah.
year. So the police would come over to see what I was doing,
Yeah.
and I would sometimes get a bit annoyed because I
Yeah.
thought, I'm just painting.
And it's
Yeah,
a
minding
special
my own
time, isn't it,
business.
personally to you?
Yeah, I thought, well, I didn't really mind other people coming over, because a couple of times I went to, I used to live in Scotland, so a lot
Okay.
of my best friends are up
Yeah.
in Scotland,
Yeah.
Edinburgh and Newcastle. So a couple of times I went up, during the year I went up to see them, but I did say to them, I'm going to have to get up really early and
Yeah,
go to
yeah.
bed early, so
Yeah.
they were fine about that. But a few times I was on the beach in Newcastle, Tynemouth Beach, I'd sit there, and the other time I went to Portobello Beach in Edinburgh, and I'd
yeah.
sit there as well.
Beautiful
And what
beaches.
was, because I was sitting down and they were behind me, people would come up, dog walkers,
Yeah,
early
yeah,
morning, they'd come
yeah.
behind me. What happened, which was really odd, is that people would suddenly start to tell me really intimate things
Of
about
course,
their
yeah,
families
I
and
can
their
imagine.
life.
Yeah.
Because I'd be painting, I'd be
Yeah.
looking at the sun painting, and they were standing behind, so there was no eye
And it's
contact.
bringing back.
I was on a different
Yeah.
level. I was down below,
Yeah.
and they were standing up with the dogs,
Yeah.
trying not to get the dog weeing on me, keeping the dog away. And they'd start telling me there was one man who was a fisherman, and he was telling me he was in his 40s, I think. He was just learning to read and write
Yeah.
because he'd got a granddaughter, and he
Yeah.
wanted to help his granddaughter read a story to his granddaughter. I
Oh,
mean, he
beautiful.
was
Yeah.
drinking as well, because he'd just finished
Yeah,
work.
yeah.
You know, it's sort of 5 a.m. He'd been out all night fishing.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, what's he doing? Big bloke
But
drinking.
The
I was
emotion
at
of
that.
what he was seeing was
I was-
bringing back.
yeah, because I was feeling a bit unsafe.
Of course,
Yeah.
yeah.
Woman on my own,
Yeah, yeah.
that time
Natural
of day.
feeling, yeah.
So I just thought, because I had my phone there, because I would record
Yeah.
the sunrise, and I thought, please don't steal my phone. But I shouldn't have thought that,
Yeah.
because he was perfectly lovely. He was just a bit intimidating. And then there was another woman who came over another day with a dog again, and she started telling me that she'd just been diagnosed with early dementia,
Okay.
and she was terrified of that.
Yeah.
And it was and then another man said he had a problem with alcohol, and he was out early in the morning because before work, because he was trying to meditate to try and not have a drink
Yeah.
before work, because that's what he used to
Yeah,
do,
okay.
highly functioning
Yeah.
alcoholic. And I just thought, how interesting this is.
Yeah.
You know, all
You
these
never,
people.
you really never know what other people are going through, though, do you?
You
Until
never
you
know.
so you
You
have
never
a
know.
conversation in a different kind of
You never know.
landscape.
And such a different environment that you wouldn't think that you're going to meet people
No.
like with all different stories in as well. Just
No, it was really interesting. And then also in Barbican, I was there every morning, and I used to see there was near a tree, there was always flowers left near this tree. And I thought, this is odd. What's going on here? Why are the flowers left near the tree? What's this about? So I left a note in a plastic envelope, and I put some string around it, and I said, you know, I paint the sunrise here every morning. I didn't want it to seem weird. I thought, I paint the sunrise. I'm an artist every morning. You're obviously really interested in this view as well as me.
Yeah.
Please ring me, and I can give you a sunrise painting. I'll give you one.
Yeah.
Or I give them a copy because I had copies made. And I thought, this is, you know, because I could feel the grief. I thought, somebody's ashes are here.
Yeah.
That's what it was. And the man rang me, and it was his son that had died, and his son's ashes were there. And then he came a few days later. He was in his 80s. He came a few days later. I got him a little folding seat. It was in the winter, so it was sort of normal time of day, sort of 7ish, not silly o'clock. And he came to sit there, and he had a cup of coffee, and we were just chatting. And it was really lovely. And then we went and had breakfast together.
Wow.
I think,
Loads of things like that happened.
So it's quite a poignant moment. So my nan passed away about 2 years ago, and my nan and granddad used to have fish and chips at Barbican. So my granddad still every single year, with my mum now, goes and sits in the car in Barbican and has fish and chips.
Oh,
The exact same view that you're painting.
yeah,
So my granddad, it's a poignant moment for me and my family. Yeah, so it's a lovely place, and the view is incredible. Yeah, so it's it's actually a. Yeah, this is strange. Hayley, have you done something here? Did you know that this was a thing? It's an incredible view and a beautiful place, and you don't realise how much people take for granted the things that they see, do you? Until you kind of are part of it.
No.
And what memories it brings back.
And I had a few friends come along, people that are now friends, but they weren't at the time. I got in touch with me on Facebook, and they came along for the solstice, the summer solstice or the winter solstice. So they'd come and sit while I was painting. They'd sit and have a cup of coffee and just watch it because it is spectacular.
Yeah, it's beautiful up there. Yeah.
It starts off, when you get a really clear sky, the sun starts off red because of the pollution on the horizon, it's red. And then it comes up really fast. You know, that's the sort of speed the sun rises in the morning. It's incredible. And every single time I saw it, I would feel really emotional because it was stunning.
Yeah.
In a way, I miss it, but in another way, it was really affecting my physical health getting up so early. And it meant I didn't have a life. I had to go to bed at sort of 6 o'clock.
yeah.
There's a lot of commitment to that, though, an incredible amount. And
I couldn't do anything else,
No.
really. So, and then after that, I got reproductions made, G-clays they're called, so they're really good quality reproductions made, museum quality of the paintings, and I started selling them at Mind, Body, Spirit fairs. So I did that last year, and the thing that was so good about doing that was it got me out talking to people. It wasn't, I thought it was going to be a way of me making an income and a new job, but they didn't really sell very many, really. I didn't sell enough. But what I did do is it got me out talking to people.
Of course, yeah. And
When I couldn't do that because the grief was so overwhelming, because in 10 months I'd lost my mum, my auntie, partner of 20 years, we split up, or nearly 20 years, we split up. My really successful business that I'd set up from scratch in London, everything had to be sold because I just couldn't do it. And I had to move back to Birmingham. I grew up in Birmingham. I mean, it's a lovely place, but I
you'd moved
preferred
away.
London.
Of course, you'd moved away.
And I
You'd
hadn't
moved
lived
for a
there
life,
since I was a teenager.
It's a big change, huge change.
So I had all of that happen in a few months. So
Incredible
it's a lot
journey.
to bear,
And
isn't it?
now, Denise, you have your own website, which is called Denise Marie Walker, did you say?
Denise Marie Walker, I think,
Yes.
.co.uk, I
And
think.
do you currently have your pictures on there? Do you have some on there? Do you have
I
sell
have,
things
I
on
have, I have them on there. They're mainly on my Facebook page.
there? Okay, let's get a plug here, definitely. And your
Yeah.
Facebook page the same?
Yeah, it's the same.
Denise Marie Walker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not
We'll-
very good at doing
We'll tag
all
you
of
in
that.
on everything.
Don't
we'll make
worry,
sure we do
don't
all of
worry.
that, 100%.
But on the Facebook page, there's a painting that I put on every day Plus, I made the time-lapse video of the
Amazing.
sunrise, so you can see 16, 20 seconds that
Beautiful.
took 2 hours.
Yeah.
So when people sometimes buy the reproductions or the originals, I always say to them, check the dates on the Facebook page, because you'll see the
Yeah.
actual sunrise
Amazing.
that came up that day.
And-
Well, I'll get one for my granddad.
Yeah.
So there you go. You got one
Definitely.
person straight away.
Well, you need
So,
to tell me which date, because
Okay.
some dates it might have been foggy,
of course.
or it might have been
Yeah.
raining. So.
I'll have a look for the date. Yeah, I'll speak to him and have a look for a date.
But
A date
the
that's poignant and
originals are
special to
sort
them.
of, they're about
Yeah.
a metre, they're quite
Wow.
big, but the
Yeah.
reproductions are little.
And also on your website, because I did look on your website, and I think when you go into a lot of people that do sell their artwork on a website, sometimes they don't have a backstory as in depth as what you've been very open on your website of what you've been through, and I think that always
It's important.
helps
Yeah,
with
yeah.
what artwork or whatever you wanting to buy.
It's your
And I
story.
think
Yeah.
a lot of people as well have places that they go to think about who they've lost or
Yeah.
things like that. And I think when you have that with something, even if it's not a place that you think of someone about, it's still that scene, isn't it? Of
Well, a world that's incredibly
Thinking.
transactional, it means something more than that, because
Yeah.
we all as human beings are going through this evolution to not talking to people, right? And
yeah.
it's a strange place that we're living in currently. So it's lovely to have
Yeah.
something that's got such a sentimental message.
Thank you. And the
It's an
other
amazing
thing as
thing you
well
do.
that I did was I did a course called Grief Recovery. So there's a book that you can use. It's an American thing. There was a lady in Birmingham called Lucy, and I did the grief recovery with her, which was absolutely fantastic. And you use the book, and what you do is you structure a letter. So you write a letter to the loved one that you've lost, and you forgive them for everything that you want to forgive them
Of
for.
course, yeah.
And then you ask to be forgiven for things that you've done to them. And then you structure the letter and you say how wonderful they were in your life with them. So you make a timeline from when you first knew them to when they went,
Okay.
of all the wonderful things and all the not so good things. And then you structure the letter, and then you read the letter to, I was lucky I had Lucy, who was my coach, my grief coach. So I read the letter to her, and it doesn't matter how long it takes. You know, even if you're a floods of tears, you can't speak because you're making that blubbery sound. you then read your letter with the other person in silence, and it's incredibly powerful. I mean, my auntie's not even been dead 2 years yet, and if a year ago I couldn't have done this,
Yeah.
I couldn't.
But it's been so powerful for you.
It
It's
was
amazing
so.
thing. Yeah.
It's you never forget the person. You never
Yeah.
forget the grief. It changes you permanently. But it's made me a nicer person, unless I don't get stressed about things anymore. I mean, I'm a bit nervous doing this, but
Oh, you don't need
I've been through so much
Yeah.
that nothing bothers me
No.
anymore.
Makes it level-
I've been
levels
through
you
the
to-
worst I can ever
Yeah.
go through in my life.
It's nothing to challenge anymore. Yeah,
I think
understand.
This is just chatting to
Yeah.
two
Yeah.
people
It's
that I
okay.
don't know
Yeah,
very
you
well.
are. Wow, you're welcome.
But we can all-
You're welcome here.
Yeah,
We've loved it.
I get that with the letter, because when I lost my nan, she was really poorly with cancer, and we cared for her at the end.
Yeah.
And it was like, I kind of went very mute when
Yeah.
she died. Like, I don't think I could really, like, figure out what's happened, because she was like my mum, really.
Yeah.
And then I wrote a letter, but I kind of hid it. So,
Yeah.
like, no, I never read it to anybody.
Yeah.
But it definitely lets you express
Yeah. It's
the
important.
sadness and the feelings that you can't understand
Yeah.
a lot more. I think it helped me.
Yeah. And also as well, I mean, I'm obviously much older than you two. When you get to my ancient age, according to sort of, information that I've read, you can have sort of 40 griefs. It's not just deaths.
Yeah.
It's, you could be made redundant. You could move from one city to another and lose all your friends.
Of course, yeah.
Lose contact with
Yeah.
them. Your dog could die.
Yeah. There's
different ways to
there's
grieve.
So many
loads,
different
there's
types of
loads of
grief.
different grief.
Yeah.
Relationships
Of
end.
course,
Yeah.
That's a
yeah.
grief because obviously everything's changed. And, by the time you get to your 50s, you can have 40 of these
Yeah,
griefs.
different mini griefs.
And what a lot of people do with what I discovered with the program that I did is people suppress it.
Of course.
People suppress it with alcohol,
Yeah,
with
yeah,
sugar,
yeah.
with food,
Yeah.
with being busy.
Mhm.
Because it's really difficult to live with all those
It is.
feelings.
Yeah, yeah,
And you
yeah.
have to go through it. With grief, you have to as my friend Lucy's always saying, you have to feel it to heal it.
Feel it, embrace it, and accept. But you have to go through.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's completely true.
And a real poignant conversation with what's leading up to when this podcast will be around or when it will be out. Obviously, there's you spoke a lot about a journey with mental health and how a lot of people do, and there's still a stigma around mental health of keeping quiet and bottling up. You've spoken quite a lot about how this has supported you in that journey, and
the thing with that is that I'd never had problems with my mental health before. I'd always been very, very healthy physically and mentally. Nothing ever bothered me really. And then all of a sudden, I had a phone call saying my mum's got a couple of hours to live, which threw my life. Through my life, that could happen to anyone.
Yes, totally.
And at that point, for me, I mean, everybody's different, but for me, I was very, very close to her. I just felt that I wanted to be there and support her. And taking people on hen parties in King's Cross at that point didn't matter.
Yeah, it didn't matter to you.
My poor business partner who had to deal with all of that fallout, I'm really sorry about all that, but she had to try and get people in to do my job, because we had 3 boats, we were really busy.
Yeah.
And it was the middle of summer, height of the season, but that was just the way it was. It's just what I had to do. That's what I had to do. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Denise. Honestly, loved it. You've been, thank you for being so open. Thank you for being so honest.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing everything.
And you've also got an exhibition coming up, haven't you?
I've got a very tiny little exhibition coming up as part of Grief Awareness Week, which is coming up with a charity called Brum Yoda, which is in Birmingham.
Yeah, amazing.
At Birmingham Library. I think it's the 17th of May. But
17th
it's
of
only
May.
from 12 to 4. It's only 4 hours.
Amazing.
But I'll be there with the paintings.
Brilliant. And is it just free to enter, walk in, or is it tickets?
It's just free.
Amazing.
Yeah.
If you can, please go and see Denise. It'd be amazing to see you there, and people will. It'll be amazing. And honestly, really touched by all of this. It's been an emotional journey of a podcast.
Sorry.
We're not normally this emotive. I like it though. It's good. It's good.
But the thing that it makes you aware of is how important being alive is and living well. And I just try and live well and be kind, because that's the only thing that is important.
Yeah.
And I'll just finish on one last thing as well, is that before all this happened, I was really focused on work. I was really successful in work. Nothing else mattered. I just got on and did that. And now I think, because it happened to me, if I go out and I see somebody in the street, if I'm walking around the street getting some shopping or something, and you see people in the street, and I think, okay, that person, like you 3, you've got up. That's assuming that you went to bed. You've got up. You've got dressed.
Yeah, just about.
Yeah, you're out. You're in a public place. You don't know what's going on in people's lives.
No.
That, for me, getting out of bed, going up to Barbican to paint was a massive achievement. That was for me equivalent to go up Everest, because that was a big thing for me to do, because at the time it was too much for me to go out and speak, because I was really terrified if anyone saw me, they would see the pain I was in, and I couldn't cope with that. So I would go out with my hood up so people couldn't see me. So now if I see people out and about, I think, wow, you've got out today.
Such an achievement.
You don't know what's going on in people's lives. And I would never judge anyone anymore. Whereas before I might have been a bit judgy, but I would never do that.
I think it's incredibly important. You never know what people are facing, what they're going through.
You never know.
It definitely does
the
bring a different outlook.
The morals to treat people how you want to be treated, and all, and just you never know what people are facing in their own lives.
No.
I think sometimes it takes challenges for people to reset, doesn't it? And there will be a much better place if we have your perspective on everything, Denise. I promise you of that. So thank you so much. It's been amazing.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome back anytime, and I wish you absolutely every success with everything you're doing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Is there anything that's next after this? Have you got an ambition?
I'm retraining.
I'm sure you have an incredible amount.
I'm retraining at the moment with morning altars, which is something that's in America. So I'm doing the training with that, so I can teach that, and that will be taking people on. I thought it'd be perfect for Barbican, taking people out, and you basically make, they're like mandalas, I think they're called. It's a bit like that, but you use twigs and leaves, and while people are there doing that, I mean, I've only just started with the training with that, so I can't really speak too much about it, but I think what they do is a group of people get together and you're making things and they start talking.
Of course.
While you're putting your twigs down.
Yeah.
What,
And we talk a lot about it here, crafting. That's an element of crafting, making
crafting without glue and
exactly.
scissors.
But what
It's
it does
community,
is
isn't it?
It starts a community, it starts conversation, it starts talking. That's how you create friends, and that's how problems are spoken about. It's how you, like you said, talk about getting up in the morning. That's how things become easier to get up in the morning and go and do what you got to do. And that sounds incredible. I wish you all the success with that and a huge amount of excitement about it.
I'm just going to plug my friend.
You plug away.
Yeah.
Plug.
My friend Lucy is her business is called Love Life Again, and she's a grief recovery specialist.
Yeah.
And if people are struggling with their grief,
Yeah.
she's the type of person to go to because it's fantastic.
Lovely.
It's life changing.
We will we'll tag Lucy in 100%. Yeah, we'll put it all in the notes and we'll tag Lucy in and we'll make sure she gets this. But if you need anything whatsoever, there is so many incredible forums for support, isn't there? I would say the biggest thing to do is not remain quiet.
Yeah.
And
And know that you're not alone as well within your grief. 'Cause
Yeah.
I think a lot of people can feel that.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with crying and feeling.
No.
There's nothing
Embrace
wrong with
it.
it.
Yeah.
If people have got a problem with it, then they need to think about why they have a problem.
It's an impact on others, not yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely.
All right.
Wow.
Thank you so much, Denise.
Thank
you.
Loved
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you.
You're welcome anytime. Welcome back to the Crafting Cafe podcast. We've got Judge Julie.
Hi.
She's being dangerous with the gavel.
She is. If you heard the little bit before, which I'm sure you did,
Yeah.
She knows how to use
it's
it.
really a family affair now, Julie. This podcast.
Oh, yes.
I think we're carrying on to we're having another extended episode. We've
Yeah.
decided today, so we might need
yeah.
to just get Anthony on, just get him in.
Oh
yeah.
my
Yeah.
God.
Let's
yeah.
get him in.
Oh
Let's
my
get
God.
him in.
Anthony is alive and well, by the way, if
Yeah,
you've
he's
been
fine.
watching.
If
yeah,
you
you've
He's
heard him.
okay.
if you
Yeah,
watch the last
he's
podcast,
fine.
he's fine.
He's
fine.
singing.
There
He's
wasn't
singing.
too many domestics.
No, he's fine.
We are going to save the sentencing of Julie for the end of this bit. Just
Not guilty.
because we
I'm
don't
putting
want
it
to.
out
We
there.
don't want to put you off with, where we are with stuff
Yeah.
that's
Okay.
going on. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Because we've got some serious stuff to do. And Julie, we've already spoken about it a few times, just not with you yet. We're past 1,000 now. We're pretty special.
I know.
We're a pretty big thing.
We've made
Big
it.
news.
Yeah, we're pretty big news in the
The next stop,
the micro
2000.
the micro influencer world. We're
How
pretty
how
big.
far away are we from Eliana Billboard?
Oh, that's long gone
Not
now.
far. Not
God,
far
that
at all.
dream.
Not far at all.
The dream left.
Not far.
So
at
the
all.
next thing for us then is people are going to approach big time to be on.
Yeah.
We're
Well,
going to be
Ellie's-
that big that
Ellie's changed her mind now.
We're
and
refusing.
She's happy to take a sponsorship deal with Prittstick now. Whereas before she really didn't want to, but she's happy now.
okay.
I've retracted my statement.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Make sure you glue's better though.
I've retracted my statement. If your glue's better.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
we've had quite a few more back
We
in,
have,
haven't we, Julie?
yeah,
I
it's
can see
nice.
a list there.
I have got a little bit.
No naughty names on the list?
No, I've got one wrote
You
down.
can read that one if you want to.
Yeah.
No, I'm not
again.
going to read that again. I'm stepping away
We've
from
got-
reading
yeah.
usernames anymore.
Yeah, so we've had a few of our listeners crafting crimes.
Okay.
So
Kicking off with the first one, then, Julie, you
first
go.
one is, I'm going to say it's at Emanays by Art.
Nice.
So it's not necessarily a crime in the way she's suggesting it, but it is a crime. I'm going to add on what I think is a crime. So her message was tracing her work when she needs a duplicate or to resize. Is it okay if it is your own work
I'd
to
say
do
so.
that?
I think so.
I think yes, it is. But I think adding something into that, me and Ellie have had this conversation. A crime that I think is copying someone's work, whether you see something online, get inspiration, and then not sort of like tagging them into or you're kind of stealing somebody's.
That's magpieing.
Yes,
That's
Ellie
a
calls
real
it
crime.
magpieing.
That's a legitimate
So
crime.
yeah, I would say to Emma, no, it's not a crime if
Not when
it's
it's your
yours
own.
and it's your design. But if you're resizing or reshaping or copying directly somebody else's work,
I assume Emma might be saying it from the perspective of, am I doing a quick win? Am I cheating?
yeah, no, I don't think
it's
so.
cheating.
I
That's
think
allowed.
it's your work. You do
Yeah.
what you want
Thinking's
with
smarter, not
I
harder.
think tracing is allowed.
Yeah.
Is allowed.
it. Yeah,
I think you pass. Emma.
yeah,
no
you're
Yeah.
sentence.
free. Free to go.
You're free to craft
You're not
again.
getting the
I
the gavel.
Also, I want to say, Emma, I don't think you're going deep enough into the crimes. I think you may have committed other crimes that we're looking for here.
Yeah.
Are you tapping into Emma?
I think Emma might have committed other crimes. Yeah.
That was not meant in any rude
Next
way.
one up.
Okay.
Oh,
So next one
it's
is
mine.
from Sue.
She's not my biggest fan. Sue
Oh.
is not my fan.
So people that use rotary cutters, but they use them towards themselves.
Scott has a story with a rotary cutter, don't you?
Yeah.
That you
Not
said
doing
last
that.
time.
My insider thoughts, spinning it with my finger.
Yeah.
No,
I
that is
let
also
is
a
it
crime.
intrusive thoughts?
Yeah.
I let my intrusive thought out. and
Dangerous.
Spun it with
No.
my finger.
No.
Cut yourself, didn't
Cut yourself
you?
bad.
Yeah.
They're very
If-
sharp.
So that's what happens.
Yeah. Things like this, that is dangerous to
Yeah.
me. If you slip, you are going to go
Yeah.
and cause
But,
yourself.
yeah, that's not good.
That you are, if you are doing that, you are guilty.
You should be banned, I would say.
I think you just take the rotary cutter off.
Take
that.
it away.
You're
Banned for
banned.
Banned
a
for
lifetime
life.
ban on rotary cutters if
I
you
think-
are using them
You know,
like that.
you can hurt not just
You know,
yourself,
back in the
but
day,
someone else.
when you used to go into places and you used to have a photo of someone saying, do not serve this person.
Yeah.
I think you should have a photo of them saying, do not serve this person, rotary cutters underneath.
Oh,
They'd get
Yeah.
back to old school.
Yeah, no.
Like a warrant out for them.
no.
It's not
So-
good. Sue, you're right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Please, can we be friends?
Yeah. Yeah, you're guilty if you do that. So, next one. I'm going to skip that one. We'll come back to it. Because that was a comment from Uncle Frogface.
Oh, yeah, our best friend.
So, the next one is from Pauline, and it is when you lend your craft supplies to somebody and they come back damaged.
Do you know that's so bad?
Oh, that's bad, isn't it?
I have been a victim of this crime.
Have you?
I can
Yes.
imagine. I can imagine.
Yeah, I have. And it is very annoying.
Julie's angry.
Yeah.
Did
My-
you
I-
charge them an invoice?
First
Did
thing I-
you
Did
get the
send them
gavel
an-
on them?
Yeah.
No. First thing I say
Do
is
you
I
have a
love
feeling
my
on
mother-in-law.
gavel?
I love my mother-in-law.
Oh, no.
But I lent her my die
Outed.
cutting machine once.
Family
Did she,
affair.
did she cut into the top plate?
Not only did she cut into the both plates, she broke the plate. So sent me the machine
How'd you
back
break a
with a
plate?
broken plate.
That's hard work.
I can see it in Julie's
Yeah.
eyes.
Yeah,
I
she
was
looks angry.
fuming.
I
She's
can
angry.
sense it.
I've also lent her stamps before and they've come back not cleaned. So like the red ink that she stamped with is still on my
Oh, no.
stamp.
Die.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
What did you do?
Well, I didn't do anything as in I didn't sort of like make an issue of it because it's my mother-in-law and obviously level of respect. But inside I was fuming.
Can I add another one to
Go
that?
on.
Have you ever lent anybody anything that's like a digital crafting tool and they've reset all the settings to settings that they wanted and cancelled all your ones?
No, I've
That's
never
irritated
done.
me.
Oh, has
Yeah,
it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know when people like, and then you have to factory reset to start again? That's
Yeah.
Kind
annoying.
of like with like a game or something,
Yeah,
isn't it? Like you
that's
lend them it and then
annoying.
they go on your game. Or don't start a new game. Get
I-
your own
That's
game.
annoying.
Yeah. I think if you've done this to
I think it's
somebody,
quite a big sentence.
this is a
Get your
big
own game.
sentence.
Get your
yeah.
own plates.
You're guilty,
I think it's a lack
definitely.
of respect.
I think it's a lack of respect.
Disrespectful. I'm going to say a ban on crafting for at least 2 months.
Yeah.
If you're borrowing somebody's stuff and mistreating it, that is a crime.
You at least need to reward them back
You're gonna
with a
feel the
with
end
a
of my
credit.
gavel.
Yeah. You need to at least give them a Hobby Maker gift card or a Hobby
Yeah.
Craft gift card or
Or
somewhere
the
else.
You need to learn some respect.
I don't know out there
You need to
how,
just
what's happened to people, but also
Yeah.
if you have done this, at least offer to replace it. I would have probably have said to my mother-in-law, "No, don't worry, I'll buy a new one." But she didn't even. She
No,
just
that's
sort of
bad.
like put it in a bag. I got it home and I was like, "Oh, my plate's in
Does
Does the
half."
away
mother-in-law
from it.
watch this?
No.
Just saying.
at least replace. Pop into your local
Yeah.
Hobby Craft or
Yeah.
somewhere and
Yeah.
replace
You
it.
could have at
Yeah.
least, you know, she
Yeah.
could have given you that,
Yeah.
you know.
If
Not
that,
good.
send them back in the condition they come to you,
Not
and
good.
then you know it.
Or not even giving them back, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes some people might do that. Crime.
Yeah, crime.
Oh, you just got to be like,
Guilty.
I'm sorry, thanks for lending me, but I messed up. I broke
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Own it.
Own
Yeah,
it, always
yeah.
own
Okay,
it.
Julie, you got any more? Because
I haven't.
We've got your sentence.
Yeah.
We've thought long and hard about it.
Oh, go on.
Right, so we've thought about it. We've taken all the evidence on board, haven't we, Ellie? All the evidence.
Oh,
I
God.
can't
and,
say this.
and to be honest, we do think there is extenuating circumstances. So we do kind of
Scott.
believe you to a certain extent.
Can I
so
just
we have been
clarify?
gentle
I
on
feel
your
how
sentence.
mean you were to me on the last podcast was a punishment.
Yeah,
enough.
take the gavel away.
We've been
You were
gentle.
pretty mean to me.
We've been gentle on your sentence. And it's a collective sentence. Ellie's trying to shy away from it, but she agreed. As a collective,
God.
we've collaborated with the jury, and we're deciding that you are banned from all scissors for 24 hours.
Oh, okay. I can deal
24
with that.
hours.
That was a better reaction than I thought. Don't
but-
put that back near
But
her.
we have booked in 3 content sessions, so you can.
Yeah.
So you've got
Do
to
that
craft.
without scissors.
So you've got to craft. Do it without scissors.
Yeah.
We will
You've got to
document.
rip it. That's what we banned you to.
No, that's a crime. I can't do that.
We will
Rustic
document.
crafting,
Use
do you
a
know what I
trimmer.
mean?
We'll
Or
document
is that
Julie.
any blades for 24 hours? How deep are we going on
Oh,
this?
I was thinking just scissors, but jury, what do you think?
Just scissors. Oh, that's fine then, because I could use a trimmer.
We can just ban her from anything sharp.
Do you know,
for
she's
24
acting,
hours.
you're acting like a criminal.
She's taking it well, isn't
No,
she?
but you haven't learnt your
I'm
lesson.
not a criminal, that's why.
Well, to be honest, the compounding evidence
Should we
that
doing it again?
went for the
But-
ban was that Ellie did tell us that you said a sentence which kind of
Oh.
had to.
Get away.
The sentence.
Hayley said it too.
We put it in as evidence. If you're going to say they weren't
You're
my,
throwing
they
me under
weren't
the
my
bus now,
favourite crafting scissors, that means they were crafting scissors.
But I'm going to remind you that after you said to me, "Oh, I've got those scissors at home. They're not craft scissors.
That
They're
is,
just household
That
scissors."
is admissible because, or whatever it's called, because that wasn't in court. So
No.
they're words you can't use in court. That was outside of court. So
Yeah, I'm still going with my innocence.
24 hours, Julie.
Okay, that's fine. I'll take my punishment,
We need to decide
but
the
you
day.
both better watch out.
You get no bail.
Is that what the criminals say in court?
You better watch out. Yeah.
I've got my eye on you
I
now,
think
just in
there's
case
a
you
sketch.
get-
We'll
There's
have
a
witness
fine.
protection,
There's a
thank
sketch
you.
that we should. There's a sketch we should film, which is
And Anthony.
we should film a piece of glass with Julie on the other side,
With a
and
phone.
us the other side, which loads of scissors. Like having a great
Judy's
little.
favourite
Yeah.
crafting with a scissor.
Yeah, we're just cutting up stuff, then ripping.
Do you know what a worse punishment would have been? To take my favourite craft scissors away.
Ah,
But I'm just.
You can't use them for 24 hours either.
Or you could have took them away for a week, and I would have been absolutely distraught.
I feel like you.
you wouldn't have though, because I know what you would have done. Because you're much like me, you would have just bought them again.
Yeah,
You would've
yeah,
just-
but I
you
feel
would've just-
like you wear them
Oh,
in
you've
a
worn
little
them
bit.
in?
Yeah, they sort of. Yeah.
Mold to your hand.
Yeah.
I've never heard of
I'd be-
wearing in your scissors.
You do, honestly. I've got a pair of
What was
scissors.
that accent? You're right.
What?
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm just gonna.
Oh, Ellie.
I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway, I take the punishment.
Terrible thing. I don't think.
Right. Julie.
Yes.
We weren't going to do Ep 9. This was going to be the close, but we are going to do episode 9.
Okay.
Any thoughts or views on guest?
Ooh.
We've had lots of offers, haven't we? So I think we need to
Yeah.
get a short list up.
Is it someone new or?
I don't know. We've had. I can't remember who asked me the other day to come on. Lots of people want to come on.
Or are we having another part for somebody that's previously been on?
I don't know. We need to have a party.
I really enjoyed
Party.
Pete Hughes.
Pete was
I
good.
would be It would be
Get
nice,
Pete back.
interesting if you
Pete
would do
maybe
part
season
2.
3 if we do
yeah.
season 3. Ellie needs
Um,
potentially a new co-host, so offers, applications ready.
Have you got anybody you'd like to be your co-host?
Mate, I'll try and do them. Maybe just an occasional stand-in.
Liam.
Yeah.
Liam,
You and Liam. You
I
and
think he wants
Liam.
to get out as well.
Haley.
Yeah.
She'll do it. Haley will come on for a bit. Kat.
Kat?
Ellie and Kat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ellie and Kat's crafting along.
that'd be funny.
Yeah.
All right, maybe we'll just have occasional stand-ins.
We need to.
Yay.
People can send
Guest
in their
appearances.
CVs.
I'll try and do it.
Still Eddie and Scott, but
I'm
with
going to
the
try
odd
and
guest
commit.
appearance.
I'm going to try and commit. I think that's a wrap, innit?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so.
It's a
today.
wrap. Episode 8 over and out. See you later. Peace.